Alright, Shalom, Shalom. First one, give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahweh Shai is the Son of the living power, the Messiah, which these are the true names of the Most High and His only begotten Son. In the ancient Hebrew tongue, in Lashwat Kodash, which means holy language, or pure language, or holy tongue, if you will, or in other words, if you will. Which this lesson I'm gonna be touching on a couple of prophecies. Mainly Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, on down to verse 18. And I'll be touching on for the beginners. I'm gonna be touching on just basically who are the people, who are the saints, who are the children of God, who are the children of Israel, and those are some of the basics that the beginners need to know, which start off with this lesson. I want to get the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. Second Thessalonians chapter 2, Salaki. Chapter 2, verse 3. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Now we're going to focus on that falling away. Now what is that falling away that Paul is talking about, that Paul is mentioning? That falling away is concerning the so-called Black, Latino, and Native basically forgetting their own identity, their own nationality, their heritage, right? Forgetting this knowledge, this truth, this history of ours, forgetting our power and His Son. That's that falling away. Which when you go into Deuteronomy chapter, and this is for the newcomers, when you go into Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 on down to verse 68, there's a list of curses, a list of curses, which are basically curses of for what? Curses for disobedience. Now, one of those curses mentioned in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 is that what? We will be a byword. What is a byword? The modern day term for byword is what? Basically, a modern day byword is what? Nationalities. Right? We call it African American, Negroes, Afro American, African, Hispanic, Latino, Haitian, Jamaican. We're called all these different names, which did not originate with us. Because ultimately, we go into that history, we didn't call ourselves that in the first place. These were names that were given to us by the other nations, particularly the so-called white man. And when we go to verse 68, is a prophecy, which is a curse. A curse which is basically concerning the so-called Negroes going to slavery by way of slave ships into the land of bondage, which is America, which is Egypt, modern day Egypt. So in that process of us being cursed because of our disobedience, we have forgotten who we are, and we have been indoctrinated. We adopted other cultures and other ways and traditions, and we have been cultivated, if you will, by the opinions and by the teachings of the world, by the education of the world, but here it is. You got in Isaiah, I think chapter 60, where it tell you gross darkness to people. which when you go into darkness, it represents ignorance, deceit, falsehood. So to be cultivated in this world, or to be, or in other words, to adopt the ways of this world, and basically to be indoctrinated by this world. In that process, we were what? Also, made ignorant, but it's prophesied in the book of Baruch that in the land of our captivities. Now, what is one of our captivities? America. Did we not come into America by way of slave ships? Did we not serve here, being bondmen and bondwomen, slave man, slave woman? So this is the land of our captivity. It's prophesied in the book of Baruch that in the land of our captivities, we will remember ourselves. And that prophecy is being performed. We are remembering who we are. We are basically renouncing corruption, renouncing, these different terms that were slapped upon us. We're not black, we're not African American, we're not African, man. We're not Hispanic, we're not Latino, we're not Haitian, we're not Jamaican. We Israel, and that's that enlightenment. In fact, let's get a prophecy real quick. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 44, verse 1. It says, "Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen." And who's Israel? The so-called Black, Latino, Native Indians. We are the Israelites, if you will, that the Bible speak of. We are the lost sheep of Israel, of the house of Israel, that the Bible speak of. And now in this age, in this generation, we are remembering ourselves. We are remembering these prophecies, man. We are being enlightened. We are being healed. Our eyes is being enlightened, if you will. So we could understand these prophecies, so that we could recall these curses mentioned in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, for proof, that we are the people, of Israel. It says, verse 2, it says, "Thus saith the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen." Verse 3, it says, "For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground." Right? So, and who are those that are thirsty? We are. And who's that dry ground? We are. It says, "I will pour water upon him that is thirsty." And that's that truth, man. That Israel receiving. That the understanding. You have Yahweh Hashem Yahushai setting up the prophets and teaching the apostles and elders and sending them forth to preach this gospel, and to preach the cross of Yahushai, to preach Yahushai, and those of us that bite, if you will, that are interested, you start believing in Yahushai. What is that? That's that gift of faith that we receive to even believe in Yahushai. To even believe in the name Yahushai. It says, "For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground." And funny thing about being thirsty or dry ground, dry is symbolic for what? For what? Lacking knowledge. You know, and that water represents what? That truth, that knowledge. You know, that word, the word. You know, it says, I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring. It says, and they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the water courses. You know, and you know, we started believing Yahweh Shai. You know, and you know, we start being increased with knowledge and understanding. Which, when you go into Revelation chapter 5, it tell you about, you know, Yahweh Shai basically loosening or releasing the seals of the scroll. That represents what? Us receiving this understanding. Because soon as Yahweh Shai released those seals of the scroll, if you will, we got that understanding, man. You know, it says, verse 4, it says, and they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the water courses. It says, one shall say, I am the Lord's. And yet this is what happening in this age. Right? You got the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians saying, you know, hey, our father is Yahweh. You know, we are the Lord's. You know, we're building our identity, you know, with the Lord. You know, it says, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob. Right? Do not Jake today say, I'm Israel, we Hebrew Israelites. You know, we no more call ourselves African American or Latino. You know, it says, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord, and surname himself by the name of Israel. Yet call ourselves Yashar Allah, which we are Yashar Allah. You know, we're basically professing this faith of ours, our heritage, you know, and our promises, and we're professing our faith in Yahweh Shai, man, in these last days. Which what I have right here is a wooden board or a cardboard, whatever you want to call it. You know, which has a list of 12 tribes. Now, when you go into the scriptures, Israel, which is the Trojan nation, you know, that the Lord have chose in the days of old, you know, Israel have 12 tribes. Now, I'm going to mention, you know, who's the tribes, or who tribe is who, you know, or which tribe is who, you know. Right, starting from here. Judah, right, you can't even see it, so I'm going to just do it like this. Judah, right, the head tribe, Judah, is the so-called African American, the so-called Negro, or African American, American black, if you will. You know, the Benjamites, the tribe of Benjamin, are the West Indies, the Jamaicans. The Levites, the tribe of Levi, are the Haitians. The tribe of Ephraim are the Puerto Ricans. The tribe of Manasseh, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, the tribe of Manasseh are the Cubans. The tribe of Simon are the Dominicans. The tribe of Zebulon are the Mayans, or you could say, the Guatemala to Panama, the Mayans, or the modern day Mayans, if you will. You know, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Right, the tribe of Gad are the Native Indians. The tribe of Reuben are the Seminole Indians. The tribe of Asher are the Incas, or you could say Colombia to Uruguay, Incas, the Incas. The tribe of Issachar are Mexicans. You know, which were Aztecs in the ancient days, or back then. The tribe of Naphtali, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, the tribe of Naphtali are the Argentinians, the Chilis, or the Chile, or Chile, whatever you want you know, however you pronounce it, you know, the chili, or chill, whatever, whatever, you know. But those are the 12 tribes of Israel. You know, all are of one nation. And for proof that, you know, this is accurate, I want to get a couple of scriptures, or I want to get some prophecies, if you will. You know, I want to get some prophecies. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes 36. This Ecclesiastes chapter 36, or Sirach chapter 36, verse 13. It says, "Oh, be merciful unto Jerusalem," and this is a prayer of the saints to the, giving, to the Heavenly Father. It says, "Oh, be merciful unto Jerusalem, thy holy city, the place of thy rest." It says, "Fill Zion with thine unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory." It says, "Give testimony unto those that has possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name." And yeah, today you have the prophets that have been, which when you go into 1 Corinthians, they tell you the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So right now you have the prophets, which are the men, I believe, through faith, the men at Great Millstone, starting with the elder apostles on down, to the prophets, teachers, evangelists, to the bishops, to the faithful believers, all the true prophets that the Bible speak of, right? And these prophets, the Lord have raised up. These prophets was prophesying in the ancient days, which that proves reincarnation. It says, so the spirit of the prophets in the ancient days are subject to the prophets today. And you have the prophets bringing out this truth. Verse Salaki actually wanted to get verse 11. It says, "Gather all the tribes of Jacob together." Yeah, and that's what the Lord is doing right now. He's gathering all the tribes of Jacob, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. He's gathering the 12 tribes together, which you'll sometimes see the prophets having, the wooden board, or the plate, if you will, which have a list of 12 tribes on it. Just so we can discern who is who, just so we can use this as a tool to basically to discern who's who. Which you have Israelites that may look like the other nations, that may look like the heathen nations, but still maybe Israel. So again, of course, we don't really need this, because the Spirit beareth witness, But continue on. It says, "Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them as from the beginning." And that's what's happening. The Lord is gathering all the tribes of Israel together. Which, if you are a part of these, if you part of one of these tribes, man, attend, direct thy mind and attention to this truth, to these words, to the videos that the prophets put out, that you may learn. That you may learn. Again, this is not the the highlight of the lesson. I just want to touch on this for the beginners, if you will. Now, I have a couple of precepts concerning, Esau's New World Order. Now, let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 36. Start off with this lesson. It's Psalm chapter, not 36, but 49. Psalm chapter 49, verse 11. It says that their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. right? So the inward thought of the so-called white man, the inward thought of the so-called, of the devils on the earth, are that their houses shall continue forever and ever, shall endure forever and ever, And right now you have Esau, which are, which are the so-called Caucasian race, if you will, working towards a new world order, where he's, the God on the earth, where he exalts himself as the God, Now, when you go to Revelation chapter 13, it mentions a mark, a charagma, which in the Greek it means charagma. Now that mark, the MOTB, is the chip implant, which will be the new thing in these last days. The new thing to or shall I say the new thing to use, to buy and sell. See, right now Esau, he's trying to make paradise. He's trying to make his own paradise on earth. Which, when you go into the word paradise, it means what? Pleasure. That's why he's having his evil plots and dark. He's doing his wicked schemes. Different conspiracies. The different plans that they're breeding together with the other elites. The Illuminati, if you will. They want a paradise on earth. It says, and their dwelling place to all generations, since they call their lands after their own houses. So like after their own names. So they want a paradise on earth, right? But it tell you, that this world, the things which are seen, going to pass away. And bear with me real quick. So everything in this world is going to pass away. In fact, let's hold that real quick. Let's hold that and go to the book of Job, chapter. Before I go to Revelation chapter 13, I want to get a couple of precepts. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 23. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. Now what? Now when you go into the word belly, it's symbolic for what? Your desires. Symbolic for your mind. What you plan on, which your devices, your intents, your desires, your delights, your plans, your pleasures. Right, so when Esau, he's finishing, or when he's about to, fully establish his new world order, the Lord is going to basically put an end to this world and to Esau. And one of the last steps of Esau's, new world order is the MOTB, the charagma, right, the chip implant, which is going to be embedded or implanted into the skin, or into the hand, or into the body, and with it you'll be able to buy and sell. And yeah. I kind of lost my thought, but it's life. And that's one of the last steps of Esau. A new new thing in the earth, man. Which, let's get into the prophecies real quick. Which I have a video, I actually want to pull it out. Just to give you more edification. I have a video. Salaki. I probably can't find it real quick, Salaki. Yeah, I can't find it, Salaki. My bad. Bear with me. Yeah, I can't even find it, but it was basically a video of a whistleblower, basically talking about a new, basically talking about the new world order, if you will. Salaki, bear with me. Yeah, I can't even find it. All right, well, let's get into the scriptures. Let's go to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3. Habakkuk chapter 2, Salaki. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5, it says, "Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man." Right? So, and this is concerning the so-called white man, which is the devil that the Bible speak of. The dragon, the serpent, the piercing serpent, the Leviathan. It says, "Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man." Yeah, and that step, that MOTB, if you will, that's one of that's an example of Esau's proudness, pride. Cause in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, it tell you he exalt himself above all that is called God, sitting in the seat of God, showing that he is God. And that's concerning Esau. He's a proud man. Going against the Heavenly Father, exalting himself above all the gods of the earth. What you think, the MOTB is? Once a man received the MOTB, the charagma, in his body, in his flesh, you are now a servant, if you will, or you are a servant, if you will, to the so-called white man, and to his kingdom, and to his image, man. You're yielding to him, man. That's worship. And Esau, he want that. He want to be that top, he want to be the god of the earth. It says he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. So his desire, Esau's desire, is as large like hell, man. And hell, concerning the grave is, it's a big place. It's never full. And that's Esau's desire. Esau, he want everything, to the point where he wants space. He want everything out of space. What you think? The race to the moon was. The race to the moon was. That was an example of his pride. He want the soul and the mind and the body of the people, man. He want complete dominion, complete dominion and control. He enlargeth his desire as hell. It says, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. That's why he's gonna start mandating the MOTB when it comes out, and it will. Surely it will happen. The MOTB will be mandated. Esau, he's gonna basically cause many to receive the MOTB charagma, whether you rich or poor, small or great, whether you on this side on the earth or that side, it don't matter. It says, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And in these last days, he's going to gather unto him all nations, man, and heap unto himself all people. And one way he's going to do that is by what? Causing many to receive the MOTB. And once you receive that, you done join hand in hand with the so-called white man, with the beast, with the dragon. The man that the nation that the nation which are the devil that the Bible speak of. The wicked of the earth, the border of wickedness. He want the nations. Which let's go to the book of go to the book of Revelation, chapter 13. Should I go there first? No, it's good. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. Now that he is concerning the so-called white man, the beast. It says, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. Now that word mark in the Greek is charagma. Now when you go to that Greek word charagma, one of the words you'll see is the word incise. Or no, you'll see the word scratch, or itch, or etching, or something like that. One of those. Now, when you go into basically when you go into the Greek word charagma, you'll understand that it's basically concerning the MOTB, the chip implant. The device implant, if you will. It says, and that's a lesson for another day. I may go into it again. It says, in their right hand, or on their foreheads. And right now, you already have companies, right? What's one? I forgot what country. Switzerland. I think Switzerland. But you have, other companies basically producing these chip implants. You know, producing chip implants. You got Elon Musk, producing his brain implant, and he's also in a race with the other company. Racing for brain implants. It says, and that no man might buy or sell. So without this charagma, without this mark, you won't be able to buy. That's a Esau. He want his desires as hell, as the grave, man. He want the whole earth. And he want the mind, the body, and the soul of the people, man. That's why Esau, he's known in the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, he's known as the son of perdition, the man of sin. Which perdition means what? Damnation. It says, save he that had the mark. So only he that have the charagma in him can buy and sell. So that means going to these stores, going to these places of transaction. You gotta have the charagma, man. Without it, it's pointless to even walk into these things, man. That's that authority that he wants. And he's exalted himself above all that is called God. And once Esau mandates the MOTB, that's when he truly is going to try to show himself to be God, which he's not. At the end of the day, he's a man. It's to say if he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of or the number of his name. Here is, which I don't gotta touch on that, but Lord willing, this video is edifying. Double honor to the elder apostles, great millstone. Peace and blessings unto the elect. Salute and shalom to the fellow laborers in his truth. And all praises and honor and glory be to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Shalom.